don't do that. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. And if you are tagging on behalf of Black Lives Matter, ask someone black. Don't do that. That's not what we want. We're not going to get anything done by doing that.
Across the nation, bad actors have vandalized and caused violent clashes with police during what were intended to be peaceful protests over George Floyd's death. These sorts of altercations have led to several conspiracy theories about the root of these violent outbreaks and rioting across the country. Police and government officials have blamed these acts on out-of-towners who have come into their cities looking to cause chaos, while others have taken to social media in an effort to cause confusion and spread disinformation about the purpose of these public demonstrations. CNET senior producer Dan Patterson joins me now to discuss it. Hi, Dan. So great to see you. It's been far too long. So let's talk about the internet being flooded with conspiracy theories since these protests began. How difficult is it to track the origin of these various disinformation campaigns?
Great to see you too, Tanya. And look, if you are trying to make sense of the world by following these kind of battling hashtags and trending topics that have surfaced across social media, and you're confused, you're not alone. Look, there is a large group of authentic protesters, like we heard in that soundbite there. But next to that, online, and sometimes in real life, we see these groups of inauthentic protesters, these smaller groups that sometimes try to use hashtags and trending topics or co-opt them for their own purposes. Now, broadly, across all of these different groups, we don't see a ton of coordination, but within each little organization, we do see coordination. And these can range from groups that have no intent. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. I think we had an audio glitch for a moment there, and I thought you were done. Keep going.
Well, we see small groups that are coordinating within themselves and trying to co-opt these hashtags.
So we have heard the president accusing Antifa and the far left of stoking the flames and turning peaceful protests into riots in the streets. We've heard other reports of people saying that they believe white supremacists are behind some of it. What evidence, if any, is there to support these claims? And do we actually know who some of these groups are that are behind these false narratives?
To support the president and his allies' claims of an air quotes national Antifa movement, there is scant, if not zero, evidence. Look, there is almost no actual national Antifa movement. The word literally means anti-fascist. So once again, there are smaller groups who have adopted the Antifa moniker, but there is no national organization. These are simply groups of people who are against fascists. So when I speak to places like the Atlantic Council, which is a think tank and tracks some of this disinformation, or even the United Nations, they say that the president is evoking many of the same tactics that strongmen use across in other nations, where they create a straw man or a boogeyman in the attempts to find some enemy. In this case, apparently the enemy is people who are against fascism.
What about the reports that we've heard from other places that perhaps white supremacist groups are behind some of the violence in an effort to discredit the protests? Is there any evidence of that?
Yeah, look, we want to be very careful when we talk about any group who could be involved with these protests. But I did speak to Twitter yesterday, as did a number of other reporters at CBS News and CNET. And Twitter did confirm to us that they removed a post linked to the white nationalist organization called Identity Europa for platform manipulation. They posted a tweet that was what Twitter called inauthentic. It was a fake tweet, or it alleged to be of Antifa, but was actually posted by this organization and this white nationalist organization. And it was, Twitter said, it was primarily engaged in hateful, violent contact, principally focused on issues of race, religion, and sexual orientation. That's pretty serious. So we do see organizations like Identity Europa, who've also been linked to like the violence in Charlottesville, as well as the Boogaloo Boys, who is another group that have called for a second American Civil War, jumping in on a number of these hashtags. The ADL, the SPLC, and other organizations have been tracking these smaller hate groups as they migrate through the trending topics of actual legitimate protesters.
Well, Dan Patterson, thank you so much for keeping track of all of this for us and keeping us informed. Thank you for that.
Good to see you, Tonya.